Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've done one of these. So maybe I could just go over a couple of things that we've got what happened in the engine in probably the last, I think, 3 weeks or something like that. Um, I think we were talking about last time social hype season, which was basically like adding any of the missing features that we needed for social stuff. So we had like voice chat, uh, switching between global and spatial, and we had the options to see who was actually in the world, kick them, teleport to them, mute and unmute them, like bad actors. So you have more control over that if you're doing like community events or something like that. And then we added an option to let people have custom avatars, which I think was a request from Rastin and something that just like was a complete oversight. Makes sense. A lot of people have VRM avatars, so allowing them to equip them but not let them necessarily build in the world is probably a good idea. And yeah, so that was like a lot of the social stuff. Since then, I think there's been a couple of things like relating to storage and stuff. So we've got the new Minia team who are building essentially their own platform and ecosystem, like a whole universe built on Hyperfy tech. And to do that, they wanted to be able to like basically like store all the assets across multiple worlds and all of the like database and all that kind of stuff, just have them all together rather than separately and per world things. So there's like new adapters in the engine now that let you basically point a world at a storage provider and a database so that you can have one storage provider, like a one file system and one database, and that powers all of your worlds. Which is just, yeah, it just makes, if you're like a self-hoster, then you'll probably just stick to what you're currently doing because it's simple to think about your entire world just being one server. But if you're building platforms at scale and you need like more stateless kind of servers, then you can do that now.
But also on that note, what VoxVN demonstrated on his Twitter video today of having individual worlds in one hype file for scenes, and you would just swap the scenes on one server. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, scenes is a weird thing. Like I think we dropped it, but didn't really talk about it much. And I think Vox just kind of realized like the power of it then, because something that he did back in the V1 days was basically in Blender he would create like an entire scene all in one with everything in there. He'd place all of the objects that need to go wherever they need to go in Blender. And like yeah, I mean that yeah you can put the skybox in there. You can put the terrain and then all of the main points of interest, like the buildings and stuff, all in one GLTF file. And
But
then
he was sort of demonstrating, like, basically I could copy my multiple hype files into one scene hype file, as long as they're not too crazy, I suspect, right? Like if it's just models, for example, make it one hype file and use that individually.
oh, I think he was maybe I was understanding it wrong. But a scene file is basically like is it's not too different to a normal app. It can do everything. You can edit the code in it. You can make it like do anything interactively. The only major difference is that there's only ever one of them in the world. And as soon as you try to drag and drop a new scene app, it'll ask you if you want to replace it.
Right.
And
That's what his video shows. It's pretty cool, and I
yeah,
picked his brain about that because I didn't know that you could do that.
yeah, it's not entirely obvious. There's one app in the apps list, you'll see it, and it doesn't have a button, doesn't have like options next to it. And it's like it's one that you can't delete or anything like that. And you can't move it either. So it's like it's stuck in place. It lives at like the world origin, so like 000 position, and you can't. Yeah, it's kind of like locked in there. The reason it's like that is because like when you've got something that's a GLTF that's a huge environment with terrain and stuff like that, it gets really weird if you drop that in as a regular GLTF because you can move it around accidentally and it's just better to kind of just have it fixed in place, and then everything else in your world just kind of like is layered on top of that.
Got it.
But yeah, it's cool. I think a few people have mentioned like we should do like a competition or something where to just create scenes. Because I think right now when we released that, I dropped out the meadow, the green fields with the skybox, and then I did like a variation on that called the alien planet or something. It's like the blue hills with like a green sky. It's a bit like more non earthly. But yeah, I'd love to have like a huge collection of those that I can pull from every time I want to build something. I'm like, okay, what do I want the scene to look like? Um, so I thought something like for creators, a competition to make anything. I mean, they're pretty easy to make, pretty like make lots of little scenes, but they don't have to be crazy. But yeah, it's good to get out of the box and away from that default green field that we had for like months.
Yeah.
That almost everything that was every world that existed used that green field, which was like, I don't know, it gets boring. Things get boring after a while. It looked great to begin with, and then you see it every day, and it's like, I want to switch things up.
Luckily, that's just for like veterans. New people come in and love it.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. And like every time I go to post videos, I'm like, we need something new, like new scenery. Um, yeah. So I mean, other than that, I think we have a couple different things happening. So like, we added there's always stability features adding to the platform, performance things and little bug fixes. We added the new color wheel. So like before now, if you had an app that needed to specify certain colors for things, it would be you just type in the color, and that would be like a hex color, and that's annoying. A lot of people don't know what that is. So we've got a color wheel for that now, and we have this new primitives thing, and basically the whole point of the primitives is that um, a lot of the times there are certain things you can make with just like cubes and spheres and cylinders, and there's a couple of other shapes as well, but like those are probably the three most versatile ones. And the other thing that kind of unlocks is the ability for not needing to source meshes from places like Sketchfab and whatnot, which can be tedious. But the other thing that it kind of unlocks is this ability for AI to just kind of like slap these things together and create like to form actual types of objects. And so that's something that I've like mostly been working on for maybe the last
No.
5 days or so. Is like exploration into AI generated content. It's been a blast. I think my thoughts are that it's fun, and why not? I might as well just like link this in the chat here. Yesterday or last night, right before I went to bed, I was like, let's get a world up where people can just kind of like play around with this. And I posted a link in the chat. It's vibe.hyperfy.xyz. If anyone wants to.
And the AI prompt prim setup, that's a hype file, right? That you would need to drag into your world.
The AI prompt. Did that share my screen? I think it did. It's actually part of the engine. So basically, like you know how in your if you're self-hosting a world, there's these environment variables that you set up for like if you wanted to add voice chat, you just add your API keys for LiveKit and you get voice chat in your world. I've just approached this the same way. This is totally experimental. I'm doing it on a separate branch off the developer branch. Basically, if you just give it your AI API keys, it will enable AI creation tools. And it's simple enough to do AI creation. You literally just point at the ground or something like that and go /create. I wonder if I should zoom it a bit. Go /create shelf. I don't know what it's going to do, but yeah. And while it's doing that, it basically just sends your prompt to the AI and it comes back with code that actually generates that. And so like the AI literally wrote all of this code. It's just using the primitives I was talking about before. It's like create this, and then at the end it puts it all together. It's like the shelf, add the back, the bottom, then they're all just cubes for this one. And all of the stuff in here, I'm pretty sure all of it is AI generated. I've been like most of what I've been doing, so adding the AI generation was relatively simple. And other than that, I've just been writing these like AI focused hardcore, like, it's like, it's docs specifically for the AI, but it doesn't go into like all the details. Like there's a lot more that the engine can do, but I'm trying to focus on progressively enhancing the things that it needs to know right now, which is, you know, there's these prim things, these different shapes that you can do. This is how you move things around and place them. This is how like the coordinate system works. This is how to add collision. Here's how to animate things over time. You can move things around. And then like a couple of properties like bloom and some interaction. So if somebody wants to make it so that you can click something or walk in through something and it triggers something to happen. And then I just started adding some things around networking, but it's kind of hit or miss. I don't know why that world just disconnected. Did somebody make something weird? I think my computer needs a reboot anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And like, I think I started off with this world having like a really good model. I was using Claude Opus 4.1, which is a super expensive API, and it takes ages for the AI to generate things. But the quality is relatively good. Like it's much better than some of the other models out there. For this world, just before I went to bed, I switched it back to Sonnet 4, and I think it doesn't even use that much, to be honest. I think overnight it was like $24. So overnight it's about $1 in credits, just to create all the stuff that's in here.
That's
So we got
great.
a little fireplace. It's even got animated fire. I mean, a lot of this is like, you know, it's almost like Minecraft in that it looks a bit like voxely. Some things can look quite realistic. I think like anything that's kind of like, I guess, handmade wooden type things, they look pretty good. Certain things just look quite good, and then other things the AI can't quite get, or they maybe look a little bit too like voxely. But to be fair, like you're literally just saying something and it appears in the world, which is like pretty damn cool. I think this was, I can't remember who did this, but it was basically a city where they're meant to be moving cars, but it looks like the cars are rotated the wrong way around. And it didn't quite get the roads right, but it's almost there. I think if you switch this to like something like GPT-5, it would probably do really good.
And if you right click one of the objects, you can replace the GLB, right, with something of your own, like Vox was imagining. Or
Yeah, so it's generating literally a regular app. Like this one was just like, hey, create a bee that's flying, and it generated all the code for it. But if you wanted to, so right now it just uses, you know, when you type /create something and it puts this, it just uses this script here, which is literally just a box. Oh, it swapped it out, but it was just a block GLB that spins. But you can right click that. It's a regular app. You can click download this Minecraft bee. It even gives it a name as well. The AI gives it a name and then a script. You can download this and go put it in a world.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I found like I get the same feel. I said this in dev chat yesterday. I'm like, I get the same feeling as trying to open like, you know, when you open like this might sound like a fucking millennial, but opening Pokemon cards and you're trying to get like the good ones. It gives me those vibes from back in the day. And I know a lot of people still open Pokemon cards looking for the good ones, but I did when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. It gives me the same like feels where you're trying to prompt like you're trying to create something and you'll get something and you're like, oh, that's shit. And then you try another one, like you try a different prompt and you get something that's really epic and you're like, yeah, that's cool. And you get like a little bit of a dopamine hit. I feel like trying to build like an entire city using just AI and prompting would be pretty freaking cool. This is Vox made this one. It's like a carousel that goes around. So it's pretty smart. Like it can figure things out. It's like, okay, this whole thing needs to be grouped together so that it can spin around. These go up and down. The lights flash. Like it's sometimes it's really hit and miss. Sometimes you'll get something really awesome, and other times you'll be like, what the fuck was the AI thinking? But yeah, so like, what is this useful for? I mean, it's useful for fun. If you wanted to like get a couple of people together and just build cool shit, I think it's pretty cool. I think in terms of like education in classrooms, which Fractilians might be super interested in this for, just bringing people together and being like, okay, we're going to be studying something and then asking AI to create a whole bunch of different things related to that subject. Because you don't need to worry about sourcing 3D models from Sketchfab or having to worry about Blender and all of that stuff. If you're, it just depends what you're trying to do. But is this a castle with a moat and crocodiles, I'm guessing?
I love this. Yeah, I'm actually working with a high school computer science teacher and a student who's into Blender and meeting with them once a week. So I'm definitely going to be showing them. I'm also going to be working with 3 K through 5 teachers. So this is right up their alley. They would love this. And how do I get it like set up within my own world to do this? Like that part.
I can help with that. And right now, this is like I've done this on a separate branch to make sure that it even works like in a live world. But it is really as simple as just adding some API keys to your thing, and
Nice.
your server protects all of your API keys. So if you had AI added to it, it does everything's run on the server rather than the client, so nobody can like see those API keys. They can only generate things that you have if they're a builder.
Yeah, I'm using the
Um,
worlds hosted by HP. Would it work within there, the hosted worlds?
that's something I'll need to ask. So it is really literally just a new option, and I think they might have the same sort of option for voice chat. So if they've done that, then they'll probably be able to add a new option for this.
Wicked.
Or maybe they even want to like maybe they want to sponsor AI and just add it to all worlds. Who knows? I'll have a chat with them. But yeah, I think this is coming to the point where it's like ready to ship. I just wanted to get it out there and be like, let's create a bunch of stuff, see if we can
Yeah.
break it.
I just created a ghost. It came out kind of ugly, but it made it without collision, which is cool because the other stuff I created had collision. So it like knew to make it
Yeah, nice.
transparent. That's pretty cool.
It's like a ghost
That's
ice
so
cream
cool.
cone.
Did you ask it not to have a collider automatically or just knew?
No, I didn't. I said make an animated ghost, and that's what it gave me.
awesome. Yeah, I made a flying bunny. It's flying off somewhere. I don't know where it went.
It's gone.
And then I did
It's
Alice in
taken over.
Wonderland. She's somewhere hiding in a bee, I think, right now. This is awesome.
Oh, here's a bunny.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Man, so we're like experimenting with all this. I tried. I basically have ChatGPT or like OpenAI and Anthropic AIs, and I was switching between because there's so many different models you can try, and they all have their own trade-offs. There's none that are like, I mean, obviously the ideal is I want something to like be created in like super fast, like seconds, but I also want it to be extremely high quality. And it's like I don't think we'll get that for maybe another year or so. But right now, I think Sonnet 4 does the best at speed and accuracy. which is what this is. But if you do something like GPT-5 with reasoning mode, like in high effort, you can get really freaking well thought out stuff, but it takes like 2 minutes, 3 minutes for it to generate each one. Even edits and stuff like that, it can take quite a while. So it's always a trade-off. And I think maybe sometimes there is even a potential to add an option for the builder to choose which, like maybe how like high quality they want their thing to be. So most of the time you can use the cheap one and you can create like literally thousands of objects for maybe a couple bucks. But then for some things that you're just like, oh, this isn't creating anything really good, so I'll switch it into the high effort reasoning models and it'll generate something way better, but it'll take a bit longer. But yeah.
It's saying that the site is
The
blocked for cheddar queso.
blocked by the ISP. Ugh. That's weird because I wonder if usually in ISP, people in crypto will notice that like this happens to like websites that use wallets and stuff like that, and we're not like none of this stuff has crypto in it, but we do have the Fallen World, which is on the same domain. So I wonder if ISPs maybe flagged the entire domain just because the Fallen game is on there.
One of the
Yeah,
things in
it's annoying.
schools that this would be cool, even cooler, is that I don't have to, they can't use Meshy. A lot of those sites are blocked. This so far
Oh
hasn't
yeah.
been, but I did have issues like in general when I was trying to do other things, but like we'll see tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, okay, can you open this? Can you do this? I'd be really curious. But for them, it would be amazing because a lot of the stuff I want to show them, I can't do because they can't access the student's email, can't do any of that. So,
Yeah, and I think Meshi gets really freaking expensive as well. Like for a
yeah,
couple of things, it's fine. Man, there's something in the world that is just like, I think my computer needs a reboot. And is anyone else having issues in the world? Like,
maybe it was my
I
rabbit.
think
It's
mine
You
just,
working
can
good for me.
you can delete my rabbit if you want. I love the bees.
I think my computer just really needs a reboot. Like it's trying to stream this and stuff like that as well. And it's been on for like months without being rebooted. Yeah, for like education, man, I could just it's super useful. Doing science and trying to like show physics and science experiments and stuff in world like physically and being able to like affect the changes and be like, these things are happening and just on the fly being able to prompt literally anything. Because AI knows so much, it has so much knowledge that it can create some kind of little 3D model or interactive thing for almost literally anything. And I just think that's super useful. Like the other purposes, like use cases I thought of are potentially things like people who do online D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons sessions, being able to like AI prompt, like if you have a dice, you've got a couple of dice, D20s or whatever, and um, you can basically prompt all of the objects in a D&D game as you go in real time. You'd be like, okay, well then this thing comes along and this is the environment, and the AI can just like generate that in literally seconds. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It just kind of needs to set the scene. So I don't know if there's any D&D players out there, but that's probably like a perfect use case for that, for playing D&D online with friends. And we obviously have like apps like Tabletop Simulator and stuff like that. Almost everything in that could be done in a world with AI enabled. And these things will just keep getting better. Like, I still think we're early days here in AI. I think these models are going to get crazy within like probably the next year. Flash edit. The lampshade isn't see-through, so I can't see the light. The other thing about doing this is that there you go. Does this turn on and off when I turn it on and off for you guys, or is it not multiplayer yet? Right off the bat, it made it multiplayer. Wait, did it? You see that? Huh. Maybe the code didn't update yet. Says that it. Who knows?
I just turned
yeah.
it on
So.
and off a few times.
Oh yeah. I can't see that. Maybe it hasn't updated. Maybe it's not multiplayer. Make it multiplayer. It
Yeah, I see it changing.
looks like there's maybe a bug where the code isn't updating, but because it doesn't say that the code has nothing in it that says it's multiplayer. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so it can figure that stuff out. It can do multiplayer, but it only does it if you request it most of the time. So I added to the prompt to not try to go crazy with code right off the bat unless it's asked for. The other thing is that it tries to go for like a blocky Minecraft voxel type style by default unless you ask for something really realistic. But usually just to make sure that it builds something fast and doesn't like derail. Because sometimes when it tries to make something realistic, you'll get like this thing over here, this water slide, where it's like it tries to be smart but ends up being retarded at the end of it all. Excuse my wording, but yeah, like it's it gets pretty crazy and some weird things can happen. So I think yeah, just like that voxel style, kind of suits it. It means it's easy to make things, and it kind of just like gets the gist of what it needs to do from just a couple of shapes. And all of this runs on my phone so well. I don't know if you guys have tried it on your phones. If you do, try it and report back if it's bad. But on my phone, I can like just jump in here and like the stats are showing 60 or pretty close to 60 FPS with all this stuff in here happening. And there's at this point, like you'd probably say I would say there's probably like at least 10,000, maybe even 100,000 like cubes and spheres and cylinders and stuff. And, a bunch of them are moving and that. So like, that's pretty crazy for something that's on your phone. The other thing is that since these aren't meshes, there's no huge triangle counts. It doesn't have to download any GLTF files. It's just scripts. And there's no textures, so like all of that kind of stuff. This world loads so fast. Like I think you could have a huge world built in here, and it would run on your phone, and it would load super fast. So unless the AI decides to create really weird interactive code that drags it down, which I've noticed a couple of times where it's made something that I'm like, that's not very efficient, but it wasn't too bad. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if like occasionally it does output some pretty bad stuff but yeah, you can notice that. And
it'd be cool to see someone like Fediverse take advantage of this. I think he would make some really insane, aesthetically pleasing designs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that even though when I first started doing this, I was like, who wants AI created stuff that's blocky? But I'm like, actually, I think that the person that is prompting has a lot of control over that kind of stuff. And I think that two different people, one person who's just new to like prompting things to get created versus somebody who knows how to talk to the AI and get what they want will create completely, like, in terms of like visual and aesthetic, they'll create completely different worlds. And that's the thing that I just keep thinking about. I'm like, I can envision like an entire platform that is focused, that doesn't even have any of the GLTF stuff. I'm not saying that we're doing this, but I'm just saying that I can totally see it. A platform that is literally prompt verse, where you jump in, everyone gets a world, jump in, and you just start prompting things, and you can't edit code, you can't touch GLTFs. Like that is the restriction that you have to work within. And then basically just seeing who can create the coolest shit that is just AI generated. That's the only tool that you have available to you. That's, it's like how in voxels in Minecraft you can't bring in 3D models. You have to stick to these voxel cubes and the textures that you can do. But like, if you just say that the restriction is AI, and then it's like, okay, like, who can create the coolest thing with those restrictions? I don't know. I think that'll be a really good experiment. I'm not sure if it would take off, but I think it would be super fun to just be like, who's created the absolute coolest stuff, purely with AI. And obviously AI is just going to keep getting better.
Definitely.
That would be like a fun 24-hour hackathon idea at all these events,
Yeah. It just opens up so much. I think, like, imagine doing this in VR. You're just like, you're in a world like this, and you just you just speak what you want to happen. You like click and hold a button and be like, I want a castle to be here, and it creates a castle. And then you're like, I want like a little forest over here to be here, and then I want to be able to chop down the trees, and then I want to be able to harvest the wood, and then I want to be able to take it to this guy and the like NPC in the castle, and then you just keep building this whole story. And all you did was walk around and tell it what to do, and then you just have this fully like crazy world.
It's definitely fun just to mess around with the prompts and see what happens.
Yeah, if you do jump in here and there's anything that you see, like if you create something and you don't want to lose it, I'll keep backups of this world, but you can just download the app. I'm going to stop sharing because my computer is like having a heart attack or something. But yeah, that's basically what I've been working on the last couple of weeks, or maybe a week actually. Alongside that, been helping out with a couple of other people behind the scenes. I did some work for CloneX, some like knowledge transfer there to help out with a thing that they are hinting at with Samuel. I forget his last name.
Cardillo.
Yeah, Cardillo or something. Yeah. Yeah, and a couple of things, just helping out with the Community guys, and Sari pushed up some Peasy and Sari pushed up some stuff relating to the primitives was a couple of weeks back or last week, and Peasy was working on some local development tools, basically being able to edit your apps from your computer. If you're a dev, that's kind of useful because you can do code revision, like you can do version control. Sorry, forgot the word. That gives you more control over building apps and tracking the history of those changes to code over time. But I don't know what's happening with that, and to be honest, don't want to give them any of my time of day. I got better things to be doing than arguing about that crap with them. for those who know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions or something like that, you can
Yeah,
raise your hand or
I wanted to
chat. Yeah.
share what I was talking about, Voxgen's video
Oh yeah.
on the screen here.
That's crazy.
And then also, can you still see it? I don't know if you can see
Nah,
it.
it just went
I
black.
think I have to stay there, huh? Hold on. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So he's in one world, has this list of hype files, changing the scene, replaces it to another scene that he built in one hype file. And then he tries another one. Then he adjusts this one in the settings, changes the light, makes it go crazy.
Wow, that's so crazy.
And then
I
he
think
brings it
that's
back to
one
the
mesh
default.
too.
Yeah, he's
That
been
whole
doing
thing
just
is
the
one mesh.
craziest stuff, huh? And then like literally a day before the last meeting that we had, I finished the YouTube video on how to set up a free Hyperfy server with FlyIO. Just wanted to put that
Yes.
in this video. You know, here's the YouTube link up here. I'll paste it in the chat. But basically, this is a 10-minute video. It takes probably 25 minutes to set up your FlyIO server for free, defaulted to the most basic setting. If you keep it at the most basic setting, it's free forever, basically, until they cancel it, that offer. You basically, it's a pay-as-you-go plan, $5 a month minimum. So if you fall below $5, they waive the fee completely. And what I found is if you increase the performance of the machine that runs the app, you're probably going to go over $5, so you'll have to pay. So like if you keep it to the default, you could probably get like 15, 20 people in your world before it starts to crash. So if you think of it as like a beginner setup that you know, it's just a spatial website, for example, that people can explore, and you only expect to have like 7 people visiting every day or something, maybe, you'll be totally fine with the free setup. But if you needed to upgrade it, it's literally 2 simple adjustments in the code, which is demonstrated in this video, that to increase to a single machine and to double the RAM. And that I haven't tested that yet, but I expect that to handle more people better than the default settings. And this month I've found that if you just double the RAM, it still seems like it will fall under the $5. So that might be
that's good.
doable. Yeah. I'm gonna do one more test later. I have to wait for every month to go by so I could do these sort of tests, you know. But I'm gonna do a test with the better machine and the double RAM and see if I could get more than 30 people in it. But this is good. If you guys want to have a server for free, this is a great way to do it. I've had it now since February and it works really well.
That's good that you could double the RAM because that's probably the most important thing. Like the CPU cores, the way that the server runs, it only needs one CPU core. So yeah, if you want to get the most RAM out of it, like 2 gigabytes is probably the best option for most things. That'll take you really far, but less than that will probably work fine. So people ask like, when's the platform coming? I don't know how to self-host. It's a bit too technical for me, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword. First of all, the platform will come, and I don't specifically want to charge people for worlds. I would rather charge for value on the other end of that somehow, and a lot of people might not even get to that point. But the thing about self-hosting is that like you physically get to own your thing, and no one can take it away from you. So you could have your own domain, like Rustan does with .xyz. I think is it rustan.xyz or
Yeah,
IO domain?
Rustan.xyz. I'll load it up.
Yeah, and like that's yours, and no one can take that away from you. And the code is like for our engine is completely open source, so you just get to own all of that. And nobody can change the feed. Like if you don't want to update to a new version, because you don't like the direction or something, you can just like no matter what you do, it's completely owned by you. A lot of people just don't care about that. They couldn't care less. They're like, no, you just handle it all for me. Like make it one click. But it's just something that some people do value because of platforms that decide to shut down their business and they just disappear. Obviously, no company like expects that they're ever going to shut down. But when you have like an entire ecosystem of user generated content and worlds and history and all of that kind of stuff, if something were to happen to that company and they shut down their servers, all of that stuff's gone. And it's like, this kind of like partly the reason why V2 even exists in the first place. And it's just to kind of like add some kind of permanence to the things that we create, because I've played a lot of games and stuff in the past, like where they've just shut down, and it's just like gone. All of that stuff is gone. So the more that I can do, just for my own conscience, to make sure that people can create things, have fun, but also have less like more control over it, and you know, just not just have more control basically is kind of like what I'm doing and what I'm aiming for. But yeah, again, like not everyone's technical, and I still believe that there are ways that you could create self-hosted things without being technical. I mean, Rustan isn't super technical, but managed to figure these kinds of things out. But I still think that they can probably even get easier than that. By basic, yeah. There's a few things, and it's something I definitely want to think more about. But yeah, best of both worlds, self-host or one-click worlds, and you choose what you want.
Yeah, I was going to add to that, and I totally forgot what I was going to say. My world is like really packed with stuff, and it's still very fast, and it works on Android phones. It works on VR. It doesn't work on all iPhones. It works on some newer iPhones. I've been trying to keep it as lightweight as possible, but I get carried away with the things that I'm adding. Today, like I've been with this coin quest that I have here, is something that Omka made, and I customized it, and I've been waiting for him to make the sound of collecting a coin global, and give an announcement to reward the when you collect all 20 coins. And today I was just like, man, I think I could figure out how to do that myself. And I went into the script, and I basically just copied the script. Well, first I found the code separating spatial and global for audio, and it was just spatial equals true. So I changed that to false, and then the sound was global, which was perfect. So that was the easiest fix. But then I wanted to figure out how to make it so that when you collect all 20 coins, it tells you in the chat and confirms that the user has collected all 20. And so I brought that code into ChatGPT, and I also shared the code for this rocket ship, which when you set it off, does that. It shows in the chat down on the bottom, Rustan launched the rocket. And so I said, make the coin quest acknowledge when the user collects 20 coins. And it spit out the code, and I said, please copy and paste the entire script so I can just copy and paste it into Hyperfy, and I did that, and it worked. And so like things are getting way easier to do compared to like my past with my efforts coding.
That's crazy.
All over the place, So
the whole like, oh, I'm just gonna go and find an app that does something that's similar to what I want to happen in my own things that I'm making, and be like, yeah, here's the code, ChatGPT, can you fix this or move it over and add the same thing to mine?
Yeah, and the funniest thing is my own the biggest hurdle for me is realizing that I can do that, you know? So it's like, I would like,
Yeah.
Omka like updated the coin quest like over a month ago, and it had the spatial command in there the whole time, and I was just like patiently waiting for him to update it, and he probably forgot, I don't know, but then I like tried to do it myself, and like the thing of like, why don't you just try to do it yourself hurdle is like, sometimes it takes me a second to remember that I could try to do that, you know? And so I guess that's what I'm trying to say most, is that we can all do that, you know?
Yeah, it's all there. I mean, I think things we can do to improve that would be having, instead of having to do the copy paste, like right click app, copy paste the code into ChatGPT, get it to edit it, and then copy the paste the code back in, is to maybe just have like that directly in the
Oh, yeah.
script editor. You know what I mean?
Definitely. That'd be crazy, yeah.
Now that we have AI API keys as an option, it's definitely something that we could do.
I did the same with the sky too, maybe 2 weeks ago. Someone, I can't remember the name, who introduced the sky rotation. I think you did, right, Ash? You created the sky rotation, but that someone made like the shadows of the objects in the world also follow the rotation. And I tried to use their hype and I couldn't get it to work. So then I took the sky rotation of the sky hype, pasted that into ChatGPT, and I said, make it so that the shadows, I can't remember what I typed, but I told it to basically get these shadows to follow the sky.
That's cool. So you lined it up
Or
with
like
the sun.
with the sun. I made the sun rotate it with the sun. That's what I told it to do. And
Yeah.
And so it did that. And like it's at first it did it backwards. So then I was like, okay, that's the shadows are going backwards. Can you do the opposite direction? And then I was able to manually place the time of day to match the sun that's in the sky. And so now the shadows move with the skybox. And then also it took me a second to like you'll see these windows don't cast shadows. 2 weeks ago, the entire building, including the windows, casted shadows, and I was
That's
trying
nice.
to get just the windows to not cast shadows, and it was a bit tricky until I think it was you, Ash, that pointed out um, the
Receive shadows.
the Blender plugin, yeah, got it to work.
Yeah, it's a nice effect. So the sun rays basically come into the place, even though there's like literally a mesh in the way of it,
Yeah,
of the window.
yeah.
That's cool.
And it really adds to the feel of the creepiness a bit. In some of the rooms, like at some point, the sun comes through here and makes the wheelchair look creepier. And like depending on where the sun is, rooms change, and it's pretty cool.
Okay. I have to head off in about 5 minutes, but I think last room wanted to talk about Audius. So, Audius.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, go ahead. Sorry, yeah, these things needed to charge up, so apologize.
You got AirPods? Yeah, man. I stick to wired ones. They keep me going forever. Although the cord's annoying as hell.
I think I wouldn't leave my desk if I was plugged in like that. Let me share my screen before you go. So, Audius, anybody who will listen now or later, is a decentralized music platform. And so let me see here. Okay, looks like it's sharing. And so you don't have to have an account to listen to anything. You can have an account for free. Don't have to have it be blockchain enabled. So our team at Last Slice, our audio team, created some really amazing audio tracks for Angzar. And we made a playlist, and that plays on loop inside Decentraland. So you got Decentraland, decentralized metaverse, decentralized music and audio. So why not bring that to Hyperfy? And so this is a quick and dirty hype that is available to anybody for free. And we will build out a UI to it. But essentially, you go to Audius, you can search, do all kinds of different things. And when you like a playlist or find a playlist, you can copy it from here if you want, or you can just search down here by doing Audius and search, and I can search for Angzar. And you'll notice that Angzar Outpost soundtrack number 1 came up. And so what I can do is I can set that to be the playlist for the world. And so if I go Audius playlist 1, it's going to load that playlist for me. And I can do Audius play. And it'll start playing music.
That's crazy. So Angzar Audius is basically Spotify but open source and blockchain and free.
Correct.
That's
you
cool.
know, there are you
I guess
can
it's a bit
as an
more
artist.
like what's that other one?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yeah.
Sound XYZ is also a crypto one. I don't know if it works the same way as Audius though.
So Audius, you can sort of like lock down tracks to be behind a paywall if you wanted. But you can also go here and just search, right? You can explore things. Again, find the playlist and type it in here. Where we want to expand it is having like, you know, audio zones where it's like, hey, come nearby and listen to this awesome track, right? And so the hype file is there for people to use and expand on. We will continue to expand on it. But it's a really easy way to just have music playing in the background of your scene. So you can auto start, you can shuffle, change the volume. And again, the playlist name, you just get that from the URL right here and it'll auto load it.
I think I asked this before, but I can't remember. Does it synchronize? So if I'm in the world and someone else pops in, they hear the same thing?
No, because there's nothing exposed right now to scrub for like the playlist time.
All right. Yeah.
And like seek the audio stream.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's cool though. It's like the most lowest friction way to add just some good, nice background music to the world.
Yeah, totally. So check it out. It's in the showcase. You can drop it in there. Again, you can go to Audius. Don't need an account to log in or to search or browse. This is going to the library. Or you can search trending. Again, all of these different things and just, you know, follow through by them. And then you could go to their playlist if they have any. So it's all driven off of playlists, not individual songs for now.
Mm-hmm. I posted a link in the chat. Cool.
And the last thing is the Tile Dash game. I don't know if you just want to show that because you were talking about Prims. It's a super fun game we made in Decentraland that we made here in Hyperfy. And so a couple of things we have. The Forge has its own hype file for a leaderboard. So we're working on making these available to everybody for free as well. So you have different leaderboard options that can tie into other things. And so we'll just have it on screen, independent of Tile Dash. But Tile Dash using Prims, we can play. And this is actually multiplayer as well. So if two people are here when you're loading in, you can play together, avoid the red, pick up the yellow, and there's a green safe zone over here that you can kind of just hang out in. So, and the object is to get as many yellow squares over the course of the levels. Now the levels get harder and faster, but you could just stand here and wait for the next level. And so we got level complete. And now we'll go to level 2.
Time-based?
So yeah, every 30 seconds is a new level. And what it does is it increases the speed of the red obstacles. And once you reach a certain level, it'll increase the size of the obstacles.
When I was running around like a madman trying to get all the yellow things, I was like, oh man, I have to get them. And I thought you had to get like a certain number before you went to the next level.
No, just the high score. So if you're really not liking this level, You could just
Yeah, that
go
makes
hang out,
sense.
go hang out for a bit.
That's cool.
And there's a cool game over animation.
I
But
don't know
yeah,
if you're on the
using the
latest
prims.
dev, but I added some changes that's using the prims. I think with the latest dev, it might be like a pretty big performance improvement. I only say that because I'm just looking at this and I'm like, there's probably 1,000 or more little tiles there, all changing color. So that, there's some kind of like optimizations for that might help there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we are a couple days behind on the dev branch, but it's definitely playable on mobile. Just I would advise to play horizontally on mobile. Otherwise, you have no shot.
No view.
Yeah, and so like if whoever's with me here, it's a single player mode. And so if they came up closer, it would detect them, and we could play multiplayer by having them come closer. Yeah, so see, 2 players are nearby. So if we can get 3 players, okay, we can hit play. This should work, hopefully.
That's awesome. I think when I played it, the leaderboard wasn't working or wasn't there yet, and so I think I need to like go back and see if I can get myself on the leaderboard. I'm not very good at this for some reason. I just keep smacking into the red line like an idiot.
Yeah, so it's cool though. It's a fun multiplayer engagement, and we'll continue to improve it over time. So just want to show you those 2 things.
Very cool. All right, I do have to head off. So I think we're just heading up onto an hour now anyway. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm super excited. I think AI is unlocking a lot, and I'm sure. Did you use AI last room to do any of that stuff as well?
I use AI every day.
Yeah, AI verse. We're just like all day, every day AI.
It's so easy. You do one thing, send an agent to do another, come back, check the work while you're doing something else. You could do, multiple things at once now. So I would advise everybody to dig in and try.
Crazy. It's minting a bunch of new developers and people who never thought to try, but you give it a shot and you start making things and it's like, what the hell? All right. Thanks for coming along, guys. Good update, and I shall see you all in a couple of weeks.
Right. Later.
Peace.
See you, Ash.